For the sake of the fall semester starting, despite the fact that I'm in the middle of the desert, I'm here wearing this hoodie. It's not a hoodie. There's no hood. I actually filmed this video already. Like, I look so dusty in that shit. Like, I actually teared up a little bit watching it back. Like, wait, first of all,
why did I let myself out of the house that day?
How did I not see this? Like, there's legit a viewfinder right there. Anyways, so for the sake of y'all not having to go through that trauma of seeing me, I'm going to try to make it a little more decent this time, like my makeup look. The point of this video is to do a little get ready with me and also to talk about my university advice based off of my experience in the last year. You know what's funny? Like, I don't know how applicable these things will be now since everybody's like home and shit and everybody's like doing Zoom university, like, but you know, take it as you will. I don't know. Actually, no, there's some motherfuckers out there like in Scandinavia and shit that are barely affected, and so they've got school. Like, so I'm going to divide it into two different tips. One is for studying and one is for any lifestyle hacks I've got for you guys. Not lifestyle hacks, but like lifestyle suggestions, little tweaks to how you live your life a little bit so that you can adapt to the university experience and make the best out of it. But I'm on my way. I don't know what look we're gonna go for because I actually have no place to go today. Like, no place to go. Why is it so bright? Like, I feel like I'm in heaven. So we'll start off with study tips. My first study tip for you guys is, you gotta change up your environments. If you've watched my IGCSE tips video, yeah, that video, I also mentioned this tip because, I mean, it's been working for me since high school. It's still working for me in university for sure. The idea is to make mind palaces. I think that's what the real, like, the psychological term is, where you designate certain ways of studying or even subjects to these places. So for example, maybe your math is much better like studied at like a quiet setting, like a reading room, or maybe like your dining area or some shit like that. Maybe more like creative subjects or creative tasks are better performed in like coffee shops or something where there's like a lot of people and you feel like you're inspired or some shit. Whatever works for you, really. This is completely personal, completely situational. Oh, and like on top of the changing environments thing, I also use this tip as an excuse to kind of like explore the city, especially if you're like studying abroad or studying away from home. I mean, this is kind of tying in with the lifestyle tips, but like go and explore the place that you're at. And like I've been to some parts of the city due to the fact that I was just looking for a nice coffee shop to like do my essay at, you know? So like use any excuse you can really to just have a good time. Wait, I look so bright. I feel like I'm so bright. I look like a shooting star. The next study tip is something that I actually got from my university, like during my orientation. We should reserve like 2 hours of studying time per hour of that class within the week. So basically, for example, you have French classes twice a week, and each time it's an hour. So like an hour on Tuesday, an hour on Thursday, something like that. That would mean that within that week, you gotta reserve 4 hours of studying outside of your class time. Y'all, I applied this tip to both of my semesters and it worked swiftly. Like, I feel like I was really being productive with my time. But then again, this is also situational because I have like friends in fine arts who have like studios and fucking like 5 hours of drama techniques and shit like that. Obviously, for things like that where you don't necessarily have to do any extra work outside of class, like everything's kind of like performative within the class, then you don't have to apply this. But to those people who do have like those classes where there's like paper workload and there's like projects and that is a tip that I definitely think you should apply. I feel like I need a mirror, like a proper one. Like, shit, I look shining, shimmering, splendid. So the next tip I've got for you guys is to go for morning classes. Okay, I know all the night owls are gonna hate me for this, but hear me out. But I feel like even night owls, especially morning persons, should have morning classes just because you get it out of the way. Like like you got the rest of your day to do whatever, you know? And like it's not as if classes are going to take up a lot of your brain power. Like based off of my experience, going to classes and lectures, it really just takes up like 5% of your attention, and that's the only thing that is required, to be honest. Imagine this, trying to absorb like a whole 500-page textbook or some shit, and your professor's only given like 2 hours every week to talk about it. Like obviously they're not going to be covering every single base. So it's really up to you guys. There's a lot of individual study and like a lot of responsibility involved if you want to do well in university. Basically, morning classes are just a formality, and so for the rest of the day you can go, I don't know, party, or you want to catch up on class or some shit like that. It's up to you. Okay, next tip I've got for you guys is invest in a planner. Wait, shit, my thing is chapped as fuck. Oh my gosh. Planners are super useful if you're a person that gets involved in a lot of things, like you like being part of clubs and you like just getting involved with your community and shit. Planners can come in many forms. I know a lot of people use Google Calendar nowadays, but personally I don't know, I'm a very sensual bitch, just kidding. But I'm a very sensual organizer, planner, learner, or something like that. That's why I prefer a physical like book planner. But I know some people can definitely just work with like, you know, an app that gives them reminders every now and then when they need to do something. If that works for you, then that works for you. But definitely invest in a planner of a sort, a calendar, because things will get hectic, and especially if you are a very like active person, or you want to be an active person going into university, it's essential that you have control, or like at least a sense of control of your time. Take it from me, bitch. Take it from me. I want one of the most workaholic bitches that you'll ever meet. Ask any of my friends. Where's the pot? That was me and parties. Just kidding. Okay, next tip I got for you guys is minimization. I think I also mentioned this in like my IGCSE tips video. I still do attest to this. So minimization is a studying technique that I personally feel like works for me. If it doesn't work for you, then cool. For me, it really does, and I feel like I apply minimization in different variations depending on like the subject I'm working with. But to give you like a basic example of it, let's just say you need to learn chapter 4. You need to learn a whole chapter for this quiz, for this test or whatever. What I would do is I would go through chapter 4 in that textbook, and I would highlight all of the most like important critical points, you know? After that, I would then write down all of those points in like a separate document, whether that means like a doc or like physically writing it down on a notebook or some shit. Just writing all of those highlighted points into something separate. And then when I'm done with that, I go over that document or that sheet or whatever, and then I go highlight the most important things in that sheet. So basically you're just doing the same process again as you did beforehand. By the time I have my separate sheet of important stuff and I highlight the important stuff there, I go and make flashcards out of those important stuff. And I usually use Quizlet, just because I can just pull it up on my phone whenever I can, you know? When you're like partying out late at night, you forget that you have an exam the next day and you just want to revise, all of a sudden 30 minutes before the doors open, Quizlet can really help you. You don't have to stress about like getting rubber bands to keep everything together. But if that works for you better, then go ahead. So basically your mind will be able to kind of store all of that information within just one title or within just one prompt. I think of X theory, and then X theory goes and spans out to this information, and this information spans out to even more information, and there you have it. You have all of chapter 4 in your head, but just with the basis of like what, 20 words or some shit. Like, Shawty my little baddie, she my little boo thing, but Shawty got the fatty, Shawty got the fatty. So that's the last of my study tips. We're gonna move on to some lifestyle tips over here, bitch. Do activities on your own. So going to concerts, going to events, go visiting like your museums. I feel like there's a somewhat misconception by many people with regards to like university that you gotta be super sociable and super always with somebody else. I feel like university is a way to kind of figure out your individuality and like figure out who you are, you feel me? I mean, don't get me wrong, like obviously be sociable, like I definitely do recommend that too, but don't feel like you have to always pertain to people's own opinions. Like basically you need to figure out your own outlook in life. And so I feel like doing all of like these activities on your own is a good way to kind of practice that self-awareness, that self-love really, and it's just great. I personally love going to events like on my own. It's just, I don't know, I don't have to be stressing like if my bitch is going to be leaving me at the end of the night because they found some homeboy, but you know. Entire to that, I do recommend that you get involved or join like your university's cultural clubs and stuff like that. Not only are they like great networking opportunities, but also, no, do you guys see that? Like someone punched me in the face. That's what it looks like. And you'll be able to kind of feel this sense of community that's reminiscent of like home, where you know everybody and all that shit, you know? So definitely if you're a first year, I would recommend that you go and look for those clubs because they definitely helped me out. Next, this is super important. I feel like this is not just a lifestyle tip, but it's a matter of life and death. Do all of like the university experimenting with your friends, or like have them in the know. Yeah, our curiosity is like a very interesting part of our human psyche, and it could either give us the best memories of our lives or death. So it's good to always have like friends in the know whenever you do, you know, get freaky or some shit, because you just never know what would happen after that, you know? I mean, like, yes, be young, be youthful, but also like don't die. Okay, something that I feel like is more applicable to people who moved away for university, call home. And I say call home once a week at the very least. I try my best to do that as well. For people who are like travel junkies and shit, this is probably something super down their priority list. But let me tell you, your family wants to hear from you. My mom, that's it. That's a sentence. I called home once a week at least, and if I couldn't because things were getting too hectic or something, I made sure that I texted like, hey, things are a little busy, you know, I'll call you guys when I can. It only takes like 10 seconds out of your day to send that message, you know? So yeah, it's a way to kind of just ease their mind, because going off to university, my parents, you know, their imagination, it went wild. Like my mom, that's it. That's a sentence again. I'm sorry to crush your university assumptions, but sleep is important. So all-nighters do happen. I mean, I went through all-nighters through high school, even university, all of that. But like, as much as possible, get that Z's in. Because I'm telling you right now, you'll be able to enjoy university a lot more if you know what's going on. If you're like sleepy all the time and you just feel tired and you're not in the element, you're lacking energy, then what the fuck? Why are you paying thousands of dollars to just do nothing? Like, yes, girl, give us nothing. It's a way to function through your academics and to just have fun. Like, you know, like both areas of your life need attention, and sleep will give you the energy to give attention. Okay, highlighter done. Wait, shit, I'm shining, shimmering, splendid again. Why do we keep shining? My final lifestyle tip for you guys is to travel. I do understand that there may be some financial constraints to that for some people, and people need to get jobs and shit like that. However, if you have the means, or if you have some sort of way to like get allowance or some shit like that, definitely something that I would recommend for you to save up for trips. Just simple, like 2 hours away out of town for the weekend or some shit like that. I won't say essential for university, but if you want to get a very holistic, optimal experience at university, you gotta plan for trips like this. I see university as like this middle ground, or like the gray area, or the transitional period between being a kid and being an adult. So like, take advantage of it, you know, feed your curiosity safely and stuff like that, and all of that can just be embodied with a simple like weekend getaway. And so I really do recommend that you save up for trips if you can, and get your friends involved and shit like that. Oh, and also this ties into what I said about joining clubs in your university. There's a bunch of university clubs that offer like these type of excursions, going out of town, or like going hiking, simple stuff like that. If you're a Concordia student and you're wondering like what type of clubs or what club would offer that, I would recommend checking out Concordia Outdoors Club. It's in the name, they go outdoors, but I never really got around to it. Definitely do regret that. Now we've got the pandemic and shit. But when I do get the chance, for sure, I'm gonna hop on like their next trip. And maybe I'll see you there. Let me like put something on my lips. That sounds weird. Thank you guys for watching this video. For people that have been following the College Chronicles, this is officially the final College Chronicles of the season. I really wanted to work on my videos and like my video making, figure out what my niches or like what my fortes are and stuff like that, and just having the College Chronicles all quarantine long has been a big help. I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, or maybe the previous video to this. I think I'm going to continue with YouTube. I don't know, like I think I am. I've been doing YouTube since I was really young, like really young, just because I like making videos. But that's not a promise. That's not a promise, because I know myself, nothing is solid until I really start it. For people who are doing a remote semester right now, good luck to us. And for people who are just starting off university in general, whether that means remotely or blended classes or like in person, because Scandinavia is crazy, I just wish you a really successful semester, a really successful school year. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, I can feel it. I can feel your energy. And to people who are in their last year of high school, you know, people who are looking for universities, colleges, and all that shit, or just who are thinking of like, what do I do after high school? I wish you all the best. Why am I so like mushy gushy? I'm gonna continue making videos. Oh, I recommend you binge watch the College Chronicles. There's a playlist, right? There's a playlist. I don't know if I can add it here, but I don't know. There's a playlist. There'll definitely be a link down below to that. It gives you a little bit of a glimpse of my first year of university and like my thoughts on my first year of university. Let me take this off. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Go and hit the jingle bell thingamajiggy, because it tells you whenever I post a video. Stay connected with me on Instagram. It's at den.niece. It's been fun. It's been great. It's been Denise, and wow, I just made that outro. It's been fun. It's been great. It's been Denise, and signing out.